All right, hello, hello. Can people hear me? Just making sure the chat is visible. Hey, you guys found me. Hello. Good to see you guys here. Let me know if you can hear me. This is only my second stream, so yeah, I hear ya. Excellent. And I see ya. Hey, Monkey. Hey, guys. Thanks for popping in. Just making sure I'm still kind of getting all of the bugs worked out and everything, but I'm glad you can see and hear me. I'm gonna get started here in a second. I'm starting fresh with a clean palette today. Here, I can show you all while I'm getting started what I worked on yesterday. Just throw that up on the screen because she was super fun. Quick, someone going, yes, give me a sub. Like and subscribe. Let's see, for some reason my computer seems to be moving a little slow today. I'm hoping it warms up, but it's just cold where I am in general today, so we're all moving a little slow, but we're making it happen. Let's see. Want to make sure chat is pulled up everywhere. I think it is. Alright, let's get ready to go here. Today I'm going to be working on another model for when I launch my Patreon in a few months. I'm going to start off with a handful of like caster models. So this is what I worked on yesterday. She turned out really cool, this Drow Warlock. And today I've got a bunch of references gathered for a Fire Genasi Wizard, which I feel like is kind of another classic. I've been wanting to try my hand at sculpting a Fire Genasi for a while because I want to make like hair that's actually just fire. I feel like that would be fun, but also kind of challenging. And so I was like looking at their stats. Hello! And I need to figure out how to pronounce your username. It's Shiro Foxu? Is that right? But yeah, I was kind of looking at the Fire Genasi stats, and they get like a +1 buff to Constitution, or I think it's a +2 buff to Constitution and a +1 to Intelligence. And I was like, wow, that really sounds like a perfect makings of a wizard. So that's what we're doing today. So we're just gonna start off really straightforwardly here. I have this, I've been making my meshes in Mesh Mixer, or not Mesh Mixer, in Character Creator. And I really like it because it's got a bunch of sliders. I'm gonna keep this silly little bra and panties mesh just as a bit of a modesty curtain so I don't get struck for nudity. Let's see. Okay, I think we're gonna start with a little bit of poly paint. I feel like I've got some references pulled up here on Pinterest. And I feel like Fire Genasi have a skin tone that's like it's kind of like charcoal almost, I want to say, like the leftover burning embers of a fire, which I feel is kind of on brand. So we're gonna do kind of like, I don't want to make it too dark on the screen, but I think we're gonna do kind of this type of skin tone. Let's see, object. I don't know if we're gonna need teeth, so I'm just gonna hide those for now. Eyes, obviously, we're gonna make bright orange. Oh yeah. I'm gonna do a little darker. I've been absolutely popping off with poly paint lately. I feel like it really lets me, or helps me, just like kind of unify the model a little bit. Protection against, yeah, for real. Gotta protect my poor squishy wizard. I'm in 2 campaigns right now. Ooh, that's a good take. I always thought like classic Starfire skin tone, yeah. Yeah, I mean, look, it's a made up fantasy race. You can make their skin whatever color you want it to be. Shiro is fine. Okay. Welcome, Shiro. You were here yesterday, and I really appreciate you. Okay. I feel like we've got... but yeah, I've kind of been using poly paint to kind of make a more, like, unified look for models. Say my Star Trek tonight. Okay, so I have a few references here. Let me actually go ahead and save a few so I can throw them up on my screen for you guys to look at. Part of me wants to start with the hair, but I feel like that might be a little bit too ambitious to like just get in there right away. So we're gonna get the creative juices flowing by blocking out some clothes first, I think. Not that I have any excuse to not be fully woken up by now, because it is currently noon where I am. Genasi Wizard. But yeah, the character that I main in my like long-running campaign that my husband runs for us is a wizard. Her name's Edwina. I love her so much. She's a human though. They accidentally released the hounds on M3M's Discord. What are you getting up to over there? I'm on the Discord, I suppose I could just go look. I gotta not get too distracted though. That's my main... Okay, we were saving pictures though. Okay, I'll kind of like, as I load these in, kind of walk you guys through the vision. Great, the more the merrier. Welcome on in, people. I can't actually see from here what... Oh, that's my dog barking. It's probably the male. I can't actually see from here how many people are watching. So sound off in the comments if you're here. Okay, so I've got this lady. Who I like because who I like because she has kind of the like fiery floating hair that I want to go for. Come on. There we go. And I also kind of like her very like classic wizard robes. And then I also liked, let's see, this is probably another hair thing, so I won't throw that one up. The wizard robes in that one are really giving, like Skyrim College of Winterhold. Fortunately, I have to lurk for the school, but I'll be around. Aw, thanks, guys. That's so nice. I appreciate you guys. I'm so new to this. So I feel like I am quite scattered. Like, I was watching back the recording from when I streamed on Tuesday, and I was like, wow, I really could work on focusing a little bit. But here we are. Alright, scale. And I really like, okay, I'll tell you what I like about this one. I really like, one, the kind of like crackly look on the arms. I like that that's like almost lava-y. But what I really saved this one for was I really like the look of her top and how that's kind of, it's very, because to me wizards are like much more like buttoned up, like scholarly looking. Like I always picture like, what could I wear to class? What could I wear in the library where if my like professor walked past me, they would be like, yeah, they're looking professional and put together today. So, and I feel like this really gives that. It's kind of like a classy, I'm here to learn type look. So that's kind of like the vibe. Yeah, Fire Lady, exactly. Yeah, we're doing a Fire Genasi Wizard today, and we're just getting started. And then, I had one other reference, but I don't want to muddy up the look here. But yeah, I think I'm gonna go for like a really classic, like wizard robe type look. But I think I'm gonna leave some like arms and chest a little bit exposed because I do like the idea of having either some sort of like crackly magma type look, like texture, or maybe even some like flames, kind of like some like little licks of flames like coming off of her. Coming off of her shoulders or something. And Monkey's here. And Dragon Horde Dragon Horde Designs is here. I read out your comment and I didn't notice that it was you. Hello. Oh, and I'm glad, oh, that's actually great. I'm glad you joined on Instagram, because yesterday Instagram was kind of struggling. So I really appreciate you for joining, and I really appreciate you commenting, because now I know it's working. Okay. I don't want to post publicly, but I'll draw an empty. Thank you guys. Thanks, guys. You're great. I love having art friends. All right. Time to get a move on. Okay, yeah, I think we're gonna go kind of with the fire theme. We're gonna try to go kind of light and fluffy. I'm thinking some like kind of drapey, Maybe a little off the shoulder look. Yeah, okay. Let's start blocking out. I think we're gonna go puffy pants. And a little bit of a sash. I always say my favorite models are the ones that I plan ahead of time, but when I am making something like this, I really just go on vibes. Of the core it's more, yeah, I kind of feel that. I watch a lot of like gaming live streams, and so they tend to be a little bit more focused, I feel, because they just like have something in front of them that's a little more linear. But you know what? That's it's all a learning experience. Alright, so you mesh by half. And I know a handful of you in here are also Mia's students, which is great. But yeah, if you have any ZBrush questions while I'm working, put them in the comments and I'm happy to take a little minute to do some explainers. Okay, I'm gonna get rid of her underpants here. I don't actually like this. I was also talking on Tuesday about how, we'll say, passionate I am about clean geometry. Which really leads to me using the Z-remesher function a lot. Okay. So we're gonna inflate. Oh. One thing that I always forget is, I don't quite know why, but whenever you put stuff up on, whenever you use the like texture, like spotlight projection, it does something weird to how the brushes work. I don't know why, but it took me ages to figure out how to fix it. But you go into brush and then you go into spotlight projection, or you go into samples and then you just have to turn spotlight projection off, and then it fixes it and you can use all your brushes as normal. I don't know why it does this. I did not bother to try to figure it out once I learned that that was the fix. But there you go. I really like doing this. I don't do it all the time, but if I am doing something where I feel like, oh, I'm gonna be kind of scattered while I'm working on this, I want to just like have my references right up in front of me. I like doing that, but you do have to be careful. And I was so frustrated when I first noticed that was happening and I could not figure out why. For some reason on here, the connection isn't as good as on Insta and TikTok. On Twitch. Yeah, so yesterday I was also... I had a couple complaints about the sound not being as good on Instagram. And I really am not quite sure why that is. I did a little bit of searching to try to figure it out, but I really don't know. So I think over the weekend, I wanted to just kind of get on here today and just kind of do another session, just because, like, I don't know, I gotta practice as much as I can, even if the, like, tech part isn't quite perfect. But over the weekend, I'm gonna do a little bit of trying to figure it out. Okay, I'm also gonna actually, just right now, since I'm just blocking stuff out, import some shoes. I have some really cute ones. I don't know if they will look good with this. With this look, but we're gonna try. I'm gonna try to do a little bit of a mix between like I said, like kind of buttoned up, scholarly, nerd type look, and like kind of flowy, ethereal elf type situation. So we're gonna see. So Dragon Horde Designs. Are you watching? You're watching from Twitch. What is happening on Instagram right now? I'm curious. Because yesterday I got complaints that the sound wasn't as good, and then it just stopped working. There we go. And so I kind of gave up on Instagram halfway through the live. There's a lot of moving parts to multi-streaming, I'm not gonna lie. This is gonna look like sweatpants for like a hot minute, but so what is happening here? Do we have 2 sweatpants? What's the deal? Oh. Okay. Instagram is fine. I'm over here again. Alright, well, just keep me posted. Again, I really appreciate you guys tuning in. It's really nice. Also, Dragon Horde Designs. I know we talked back in December about me printing you off some minis and sending them to you, and I haven't forgotten, but it is cold here right now. And so my printer has just not really been cooperating. So once I get my printer back up and running, hopefully by February, so I can finish test printing for the Kickstarter, all the stretch goals, then I will print you off a bunch of stuff and send them to you so you can paint them. Because I love seeing all your painted stuff. You're so talented. Twitch was skipping to it. Okay, yeah, that's wild. I'm not really sure why that would be. Yeah, it's saying there's a network error. Let me try reloading. Okay, is that better? I'm just gonna keep it pulled up on Twitch for a minute and see if it gets better. And it doesn't look like there's a ton of delay on it for now. I think they're looking like booty shorts because I got this kind of pulled out. So let's kind of focus on having them. Okay. You are good. No one's, yeah, thank you. I appreciate you. Okay. Now, let's think about what we want for a cute little... Part of why I like making minis is because I basically get to play Barbie dress up as my job. Okay, so I think what I'm gonna do is, because I don't really want to do like a boob window exactly, but I do want to give her, so I think what I'm going to do is maybe make kind of a flowy top with a little belt around the waist, and then I can give her a little like satchel with her wizard spell book and like a little belt situation with some like potions and like pouches and all that good stuff. And then I think I might give her like a little shrug. I'm picturing like a 2008 situation where it just kind of like comes, it just really comes over her shoulders, and the whole purpose is to just kind of add a layer and give her like a little collar situation. Oh yeah, I am right there with you with just not having time for the fun stuff because you have a full-time job. Before I was doing this full-time, I had an office job that I just hated. And yeah, I would come home and just kind of like sit at my computer and frantically sculpt because I like had all these ideas and I wanted to like make stuff and be creative, and but I just had so little. I had like, you know, maybe a couple of hours in the evening to work on stuff, and it wasn't a good situation. But, you know, it makes you appreciate the time you have all the more, I suppose. Maybe with the sleeves rolled up or secured for some somatic. Yes, okay, I like that. So I'm thinking maybe, because I think if we have the pants looking kind of flowy and the hair looking kind of flowy, I think, yeah, maybe having the shirt and belt be a little more form-fitted would be interesting. I'm just going through and making sure everything is still smooth. I'm seeing that on the YouTube stream, it still looks like it says stream starting soon. So are you guys seeing... Are you guys watching it horizontal or vertical? Is my question. Also, I really appreciate you guys just like bearing with me. Is working on Instagram, Twitch, and now here on TikTok. I really appreciate you jumping around and helping me troubleshoot the tech. You're a good friend. Okay. And I am quite happy that the multi-chat seems to be working well. And it looks like it is projecting on the stream as well. So it's all coming together, guys. Okay. So yeah, I really like the idea of having the shirt be a little looser. If we end up doing sleeves at all. I'm not convinced that we will, but we have them for now. I think this looks like a decent mesh density. I'm gonna remesh one more time. One thing that really I hate is when Zbrush struggles to get rid of like boob topology. And some days it gets it right and it's like, yeah, sure, we're fine We understand that you want a shirt and not a bra. And sometimes it's like, no, there's supposed to be lumps here. There we go. There we go. Oh, already I'm liking this. I think I am gonna poly paint it. I think I'm gonna make these pants kind of a burnt orange. What's the difference between burnt orange and brown? That still looks kind of orange. And then maybe like I don't want to do gray for the top because that feels kind of boring. It's so jumpy on here for me on Insta. Yeah, Instagram might be kind of the weak link in this situation. I'm using okay, let me do a little bit of messing around in OBS. I'm using the Stream Elements plugin for multi-streaming, and it doesn't automatically link to Instagram. I had to like input it as, I had to input it manually, so I think in YouTube. And then hopefully it will switch to horizontal. And then, and then I missed Cheryl asked what kind of printer I use. I have a handful of printers. I have 4 FDM. I have, you can probably see in the background, this is a Bamboo Labs P1P for FDM. And I just got it in December. And I'm really liking it so far. Before that, had an Ender 3 V2, and it was kind of outdated as soon as I got it. And it didn't have any auto features, so it didn't have auto bed leveling, it didn't have any sort of like Bluetooth connectivity. You had to like manually do the belt tension and everything. It really just became a huge pain to do anything with it. So after a while I just kind of stopped using it, and that kind of sucked. So so I was really excited to get this one because it works, and now I like have a functional printer again. And then for resin, I have 2 currently. I have a Saturn, an Alegu Saturn S, and that's my main one that I use. And then I also have a very good friend, Ricky, who lent me his Photon Photon M3 Max for last winter, so not 2024, but 2023. I was doing a ton of printing because I was trying my hand at selling printed stuff at like expos and craft fairs, and I went way overboard with printing inventory for that. But I also was printing off some copies of my Red Dragon, and that is a big boy. And so he was like, oh yeah, borrow my gigantic resin printer that I got for printing Warhammer terrain. And so that one, so he did me such a solid. And so that one still lives in my shed, and I use it occasionally. So that's what I have. I have a Saturn S and a Photon M3 Max and a Bamboo Labs P1P. I want a printer so bad. Look, you gotta, I would recommend, honestly, if you are wanting really badly to get into 3D printing, but you don't feel like you have the space for a resin printer, because like, that's totally fair. They're a totally different beast from FDM printing. But I would get an FDM printer. I truly would start out with one. That technology has come such a long way in the past, honestly, just few years. Like, I got my first FDM printer in like 2019, and like even just since then, like the very first generation after the one that I first bought was just like so much better even, and they're not as expensive as you would think they are. Like this one, that's like, it's like pretty fancy, but I got it for, I think it was like $650. I think it was on sale for less than $600. Like, they're way less expensive than I think people assume they are. And they, like, the reason I say they've come so far is, like, I think the, like, kind of common refrain that you hear a lot is like, oh, I want a printer, but I want to print minis, and I don't have room for a resin printer, so I am just not going to bother at all. But like, honestly, truly, try your hand at an FDM printer. Like, read some reviews, see what works well. I love this Bamboo Labs one, if I'm being honest. It printed super well out of the box. I have not had to futz with it all that much. And just like, see what you can print with it. Hey, the YouTube stream is down. God damn it. See, I think that's because I messed with it too much. So if I go into my profile, okay, I'm seeing that it's up, but is it super laggy? I think the vertical stream is down. I think I had 2 streams going at once, and that was messing it up. But I think if you go into my profile and click on the live stream that's up now, hopefully it should load. Working for me. Hi, Death Sarch. You were here yesterday, and you lurked a bunch, and I really appreciated you. So welcome back. Or not yesterday, on Tuesday. I want to get an FDM printer so bad. Yeah, honestly, they're not that expensive. I mean, think they're not as expensive as people think they are. I'm not gonna say they're not expensive because, you know, everyone's situation is different. But, you know, I tell people that you can get a good one for like a few $100, and I feel like that's often met with a certain amount of shock. So I'm just trying to spread the word. They're not as expensive as I think people think they are. I have to get a laptop first. I don't have sound on because you are also on YouTube, but you are a bit framey. See, I don't understand why that is. I have such fast internet, but I think maybe I just have too much going on. I'm not sure. Okay. All right. Let's try them. Nice, nice. I love seeing people's different usernames across platforms. IML is Arcanum most places, but not on Reddit, because I made my Reddit account back in like early college, and I've got enough karma on there that I don't really want to bother switching over. Can just be your PC and keep up with 2 streams. Yeah, I think it's 2 streams, Zbrush, plus I've like got all the live streams open in my browser so I can have the chats popped out and also like keep an eye on them, and I think that's probably altogether just kind of a lot. So I appreciate you guys kind of bearing with me here. I feel like my laptop should be able to do all of this without too much problem, but because look, it can run Baldur's Gate. I'm super old username. I haven't changed. I use it on YouTube because it's, you know, my dad put into his YouTube. Oh yeah, you gotta get that premium. Doesn't matter what your username is. Well, to some extent. You don't want it to be toxic or anything, but I can't imagine that that is a problem for you guys. Okay, so I think I'm gonna have the pants go all the way up to this sash situation, so it kind of looks like she's got, I think that'll kind of elongate how her legs look. Okay guys, what do we think? Do we want sleeves on this or no? I watch YouTube. Yeah, same. I watch YouTube a lot, but I don't have YouTube Premium. I just suffer through the ads, for better or worse. I'm just gonna see, because I'm still just kind of blocking out, so we're not married to anything yet, but I'm just gonna polygroup these and hide them for a second. And see if I like them more with or without. And again, if you guys have any questions about anything that I'm doing in Zbrush, let me know. I kind of feel like I'm gonna leave, unless anyone has any huge objections, I feel like I'm gonna leave the sleeves for now, because I tend to feel like a bare arm look is a little bit more monk to me as opposed to wizard. I'm also considering adding some sort of like sash situation down here. Oh my gosh, yeah. Every single site, and to some extent, I always want to be like, I'll go in and choose my options, but then like, it becomes difficult. Okay, I'm gonna see what a little like sash situation might look like, because I really just want to make her seem really flowy, and at a certain point, I need to just go in and start on the hair and the face. I think that it really gets so much added to it. Once you've kind of got that blocked out, it tends to just really start feeling more alive. Alright, that topology is not my favorite, but I think it will be fine considering it's going to be a more organic piece of clothing. So I'm just going to give it a little bit of fluff here to kind of give it the visual of kind of a sash. I might go back in and make it not symmetrical, but got it for now. Okay. And then, okay, we're gonna start it on the hair. I think I consider doing kind of like an undercut or like a buzz cut on the sides and then like just on the top, having it be kind of like a pixie cut sort of look. But I think that a longer hair style is really gonna have that like flowy look that I'm going for. I just need to decide how I'm going to I'm gonna construct it. I think I'm gonna do it with a hairbrush. I'm gonna give her some eyelashes first. I'm gonna work on the face, I think. I think I'm gonna make these just plain old black. Again, it doesn't matter, but I do it for me. And maybe you guys, I don't know if you like seeing them poly painted. I feel like it's more fun when they're poly painted. feel like it's more fun to look at. I feel like it just kind of keeps me interested a little bit more. Oh wow, this face is not symmetrical. I use a program called Character Creator 4 to generate my human body meshes. And I like it a lot because it's got a bunch of sliders, and so I can like really easily make bodies that like have correct proportions, but are like different from one another. But because they are like more anatomically correct, it like generates them non-symmetrical, which is fine, except for when I'm sculpting on them, I need to be mindful of that for things like eyelashes. Okay, that is dramatic as hell, and I love it very much. Okay, we're gonna give her a little bit of warmth on her cheeks. Hey Percy, how's it going? I'm literally just now talking about color, and you are my color czar. If you've seen my social media at all, I have made 2 dragons, and both of them were painted by my wonderful friend Percy, who is very good at picking colors, so I make them do it for me. Well, I don't make them. They very generously offer, and I take them up on it. But also, a lot of times when we're at Paint Jam at Mox on Wednesdays, which is our weekly paint event that our friendly neighborhood game store puts on, and we go paint minis. And a lot of times I will be like, Percy, I don't want to choose colors. Will you do it for me? I feel like it's kind of throwing me that her eyes aren't white on the outsides. So maybe if I switch up this color. Yeah. And I do orange in the middle. Maybe it will feel a little bit more human. Not human, because it's not a human, but you know. Right now it's kind of feeling more like an elemental than like a playable character, if that makes sense. But I want it to feel like Yeah, I think that's a little bit. I think that's a little bit better. See, and it's funny because when I choose a random color palette on the fly for me, I always end up wanting to repaint the mini, but when I do it for you, it's always a banger. Yeah, it is always a banger. You help me paint bangers, and I really appreciate you. Maybe you feel less pressure when you pick them for me because... well, I don't know why. I'm not gonna pretend to understand, but you do it and it's great, and I love that for me. Percy, did you get a bunch of snow? I woke up to like a good amount of snow up or down here, and I know that you have been getting way more than me. Because there was like some actual like accumulation on the ground. Oh, people have been sending likes on TikTok, you guys. It's so nice. Thanks, everybody. I need to do more figuring out what all of the like gifs and likes and everything on TikTok actually mean. Like, do they change anything on your account, or like how your account works? Does it change like how the video gets pushed out? I don't know. But I probably should know if I'm going to be doing this more often. But you guys are liking this video a lot. That's so kind. Thank you. Okay. Also, Percy, I'm making a Fire Genasi Wizard. And just like yesterday, I am going on vibes alone. And we're just kind of seeing how it shakes out. Oh yeah, it's looking like my child. Oh, like, Dan, that is grim. Not because your childhood was grim, just because you grew up in Utah and it snows a lot there. And I know you don't like snow. Blasting Pete pony polo and working looking out at all these tire shops. Heck, what are you, Pixel Crusher Studio, what are you making in Zbrush today? I'm kind of tempted to give this shirt some sort of like panel structure maybe? I'm not sure. I kind of don't want to start it on the hair until I feel like I've got a better read on what the rest of the body is gonna be. But maybe that's a mistake. I think what I'm gonna do is give her a little bit more of a robe situation. Yeah. Actually, you know what I have? I made this... Okay, we're gonna try this. I made this, when I was making a Tiefling Pirate for RPG Essentials 2. And I think it might be just the thing. I'm not sure yet. Do you use Marvelous Designer? I do not use Marvelous Designer. What is that? Could be my internet level. Yeah, we lagging a little bit. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like my internet should be plenty fast and my computer should be plenty capable of multi-streaming, but sometimes what we think should be and what is reality is not necessarily the same. Clothing designer. That sounds cool. So does it generate, like, does it have like base meshes for clothes with like really simple geometry and then you can like import those into Zbrush? Because that sounds very cool. I love a tool that speeds up workflow. Of course, I say that as I'm getting really distracted. What was I gonna do? The vest. Where do we think it is? No, I saved it. Yes, it is. Okay. Yeah, so I made this a little while back when I was making a tiefling pirate. And I think it might also be the vibe for this, but we're gonna see. I'm gonna have a little look-see. I love it when I can reuse an asset. Let's just use the crease brush though. Tighten it up a little bit. Polish my features. Yeah, that's gonna be better. I'm gonna add a couple little creases here and there. Here. That looks pretty good. Okay, much better. And then, since it's so low poly, I think I should be able to squish this around pretty easily. I think I made it to be more of like a roguish type look, so a little bit more loosey-goosey. I think for this, I'm gonna want it to feel a little bit more structured and buttoned up, but I think the general shape of it is gonna be good. Just because, like, I want a wizard robe kind of feeling. This is the part where I kind of just mess around until I figure something out that I like. But also, if you guys have any ideas, give a holler. Because there is no plan. And I think I might even bring this in at her waist a little bit. I think that will look good. And then I might make it long. little silly looking. But then if I make the pants a little more form-fitted, alright, and then we'll make it like orange or something. And then we in around the collar a little bit more. You know what this is kind of giving is, what's the name of the character that shoot, that wizard from, it's the Marvel movie, Doctor Strange. It's giving the wizard from Doctor Strange. I don't know if it's actually plagiarism, but that is what it's reminding me of a little bit. But I think that's just because she's still bald. So we're gonna fix that. Disney, don't come at me. Okay, I'm already liking this more. It's already giving wizard a little bit more. This shirt, I'm still not completely sold on it having sleeves, but I'm liking it for now, so we're gonna keep it. Let's give her hair. I think I am gonna give her a little buzz cut to start. For a couple reasons. One, so that it doesn't have subdivision levels, and two, because I think that since we're having her hair, we're gonna have her hair kind of try to be a little flowy. I would like to have a really solid base so that like the roots, or so that like her scalp isn't like really showing through a ton. And we're gonna extract this at a little bit of thickness. I don't do this kind of hair construction all that much anymore, where I like extract something directly from the head. Usually I have this hairbrush that I'll usually just draw straight onto the skull. But we're gonna try this today. There's a GeoZ option for round-trip workflow to go between. Oh, that's cool. For Character Creator, there is also a GeoZ plugin. It's a little buggy, but it works pretty well. So I tend to use that pretty seamlessly. It took a little while, but. And then okay. So I'm gonna have the base of her hair be, I don't know why I'm feeling so scared to use all these bright colors. Maybe I just don't want to be too obvious. I don't know. But I feel like the orange coat is a little much. It's giving traffic cone. I might give her something that honestly is a little bit... a little bit of a contrast, maybe? I'm not sure. Maybe green? I'm spending way too much time on colors. That's just giving Christmas. Sure, we'll do that for now. I just think the green is such a, like, mage-y color. Not mangy. Mage-y. Okay. So now I'm gonna bring in. Now I'm gonna bring in this hairbrush. I think this is the same one that Mia still uses. And that's because it's a good one. Okay, yeah, I'm looking at the Instagram live. And yeah, it is really laggy. How are these other ones doing? Let's look on my phone. I really appreciate you guys bearing with me on the technical stuff. Okay, on my phone it looks okay. So, maybe it is just my laptop that's struggling a little bit. Okay, so I suspect I may also just be procrastinating because this hair is a little bit of pause, and I almost wonder if the hairbrush is not actually the best way to go about it, but we're just gonna try it, and if it goes poorly, then we can do something else. I almost wonder if... So I think I'm gonna construct it kind of like a regular hairstyle and then just kind of like have it be pulled back a little bit. So... to kind of decide how long I want it to be. But I think this is how it's going to look the most like hair. Is if I kind of construct it the way I would a regular hairstyle. And just kind of have it be flowing back. And if you're like, Natalie, that doesn't look like hair at all, what are you talking about? This is really a trust the process type of situation, so I'm gonna need you to bear with me. So I think the idea is gonna be to use move and move topological to kind of move these smooth hair strands around, and then I will employ my what I think is kind of the most fun brush, which is the spiral brush. It's a little bit of a niche brush, and if you don't use it quite right, it can look very cartoony. But I found that if you use it on this hairbrush when it's still at kind of a low resolution, it can actually look pretty good. And I really want to make this kind of thick so that I have a good amount to play with. And I'm making these all kind of the same length because when I squish them around, I can make them longer and shorter if I need to. Just kind of looking back at my references here, I've got a handful more pulled up on Pinterest. I'm gonna put a few just kind of smaller strands underneath here. These ones I do want to be a little shorter. Alright, I think that is a good amount to start with. And she's done. Incredible. Let's see, because you're making them a wizard, are you going to give them a spell book? Oh yeah, we're gonna have So I'm envisioning, don't worry about the hair for now. I'm envisioning having this be like a full-fledged belt. So it's gonna have, I know I said belt on Tuesday and I didn't end up actually doing a whole kitted out belt situation, but yeah, so we're gonna do a belt here. It's gonna have like a few layers and some buckles and like maybe a little potion holster, and then I think I'm also gonna have like kind of an over-the-shoulder belt or over-the-shoulder bag going across her body. That's what I'm thinking about, a crossbody bag, and that is gonna be at her side. And I'm thinking for that it'll have her spell book attached to it, and then maybe some like scrolls kind of popping out the top. That's what I did when I made the mini for my the character that I play in our regular game, Edwina. Shout out Edwina. And I thought that looked really good and wizardy, and so I'll probably, I might even just pull that whole thing in from that model because it looks really good, and you know, why make the same thing twice? Okay, I'm actually gonna save because I haven't saved yet, and sometimes when I merge down a bunch of these hair pieces, they get kind of messed up. That sounds kind of awesome. Thank you. Thank you. I am very passionate about wizards. I love wizards. I love all spellcasters. My other character that I'm playing in our Curse of Strahd campaign, which is the other one that I'm in, is a sorcerer. And I love her too. But Edwina's kind of like my kind of first character. It's a campaign that like we've had running for a long time, and so she's kind of like my first character that I like made and like really played. Well, that's not true. I had a paladin that I played for a while, but I've grown very attached to her because we've been playing this game for a long time, and playing with some very good dear friends, and it's just a lot of fun, and Edwina's great. Shout out Edwina. She's a huge nerd. So whenever I think wizards, I just think nerds. Okay, I might hide the helmet for a second here. Sounds like a lot of fun to paint. Yeah, I am a more is more kinda creator when it comes to character models. I love putting, especially on spellcasters, because you need so many things when you're a spellcaster. You need your spell components, you need your book, you need your spellcasting focus. You need your potions, because you can't rely on your armor, because you're just a squishy little guy. So I love just like putting a bunch of stuff on on a wizard. Hello, please. This hair can be kind of fussy, but it just tends to turn out looking pretty good. You just have to kind of trust the process. One thing I am gonna do though is hide all these pieces that are overlapping, because they'll get messed up. Oh, I may have done a bad job constructing this. But we'll see. Okay. And then I'm gonna mirror and weld these. So that they're all polygrouped. Right. This is the other problem with using an IMM brush. Sometimes you have to coax it a little bit to be polygrouped in a way that makes sense. Oh, no. Okay, I think that is gonna be good. I'm gonna save again because I don't know why, but sometimes when you're using this hairbrush and you merge down multiple subtools of it, it kind of turns into spaghetti. If it happens, I'll show you, but hopefully it doesn't happen because I don't want to cry today. Okay, but now I can just grab individual pieces. See, I know that seemed like a pain, but I promise it's gonna save me effort in the long run. Because now I can work in symmetry a little bit easier. I've been wanting to make a fire Genasi model for so long, but I have just felt very intimidated by the thought of making fire hair. But I mean, I'm kind of starting to see the vision here, so I'm feeling happy about that. Obviously it's got a ways to go, but I'm starting to see it. Okay. So now I'm gonna, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna need the helmet after all. So now I'm gonna try to give her a little bit of a hairline. Does it help if I smooth it a little bit? No. Does it help if I polish my features? Yes. Okay. And probably what I'll do after I've gotten the main shape of the hair figured out is just go in. This hairbrush has some little like baby strands that you can add in, and so I'll probably go in with some smaller, shorter strands and give her like some little baby hairs around the front, as well as some like smaller strands that are kind of like going up in like kind of at like various points throughout the hair. Just because if it's all slicked back like this, she's just gonna look like she's in a wind tunnel. And that's not really what we're going for, but baby steps. Ooh, I could have given her. Okay, no, we have a plan. We're sticking with. I get so distracted. Raise your hand though if you want me to ditch this idea entirely and just give her a mohawk made out of fire, because I could be convinced to do that really, really easily. Now she has a little bit more of a hairline. I'll go in and give her some little like sideburn wispies later. Okay, so now I'm gonna turn off. Well, let's maybe fill in the insides a little bit more. I don't think this is gonna matter a ton, because I can always go in and kind of put more in there later. Oh, you know what I should probably just do now is something like this. No. There we go. Okay, we're still relatively low poly. So I think I might delete lower subdivision levels. Oh no! Ah. Okay, it's okay. Price is averted. Don't worry about it. Alright, delete lower. Zbrush gets really mad sometimes when you try to delete stuff and it's like, oh, you wanted that gone forever? Word. Bye. And then you can't get stuff back. There's not a lot of things that are like that, but the things that are like that, it's the worst. It's the worst. Like if you accidentally hit delete instead of duplicate on a subtool, that's it. You're done. Like your subtool is gone and you can try to go back to like a quick save to try to get it back, but if it's not in a quick save or you didn't save recently, then bye bye subtool. Okay, so I'm just gonna try to use this deformer. I don't want to completely ruin the hairline that I've given her, but I do kind of want all of these hair strands to be going in the same direction-ish. And I might just make her hair a little bit shorter. Just as an act of kindness to myself. I'm gonna try to be a little bit protective of her hairline while I'm smushing all of this around. Just because I worked kind of hard on it. Okay, but I'm gonna use the snake hook brush because it moves things a little bit more fluidly than the move brush. And I want to give almost a little bit of like an underwater look. To how her hair is flowing. Now I'm just gonna kind of go in and, oh, I suppose I could do auto groups. Now that we're out of symmetry. The only thing that I wish there was like a snake hook topological brush. That would be sick. Because if you don't mask stuff off, then it moves the entire mesh all together. So it adds like a handful more clicks than really I wish there were. Maybe what I'll do, actually, if I use move topological, it doesn't have backface mask on. I can kind of just smush it, because right now I'm just trying to like kind of get a little bit of variety worked in here so that it doesn't look like it's just like a bunch of clumps. And I think I can do that without the snake hook brush for right now, because I eventually am going to go in with the spiral brush, but this is all really just me messing around until I get something that I like. But I kind of want her hair to look like a bit of a bonfire, so having it feel like it's all kind of going in different directions I think makes sense. And then I can just like add some curls to it at the end, and then I might go in and like sculpt on some of these. I might Z-remesh actually, so that I still have all the strands, but I can thicken them up and sculpt on them a little bit so that I can make them look a little bit more like fire. And I think this is kind of starting to take shape here. I think I need to make some of these much shorter though. Coming up on 2 hours, so I think I'm going to add a few more little strands here. Well, let's just see something real quick. If I decimate, or not decimate, subdivide these, let's just see how it looks like with a little bit more of my plan executed. Because I'm not gonna lie, if I put the spiral brush on and it doesn't look good, I'm going to start over with, I have like a slightly different method that I could try in mind. Not slightly, a completely different method. So if this doesn't work, then I will probably take a little break and then come back and try something else. Ooh, I kind of like this though. 2 hours. Oh, right. Yeah, it's getting to be afternoon, mid-afternoon even. Okay. I like where this is going. It does need more work. But I think if I give her more baby hairs, that's gonna help a lot. And so I think that's what I'm gonna do next. I am, though, gonna take a little bio break here. It's been a couple hours. Drink some water. So yeah, I'll be back. We get her zoomed out a little bit here. Oh, you guys, I'm seeing it. I'm seeing the vision. I'm liking it. I'll be back soon. Yeah, I'll be back soon. Okay, I am back. And while I was gone, I made myself a little PB&J. And while I was eating that PB&J, I had a little think about this model. Hey, Rochelle. Thanks for stopping in. I hope you have a good day. Yes, I had a little think about this model, and I made a few decisions. One is going to be no sleeves. I want to have this have a little bit of like a sharp, not quite cap sleeve to it, but I want it to look a little bit sharp and come over her shoulders just a little bit. And then I might even crease this. And then I want her to have glasses. And I want them to be like cool hipster glasses. So have the like completely circular frames. And I'm just kind of blocking these out. I'll make them better later. Like I'm not gonna add frames to them or anything right now. But I'm just gonna see how they look. I feel like they'll be cool, but maybe they won't be. This is an experiment. I've never actually made a model with glasses before. I need to look at reference. Okay. That's a regular pencil. And then I kind of want to try a different direction with her hair. I know that I was saying that I could see the vision, but I kind of want to try just sculpting it and seeing if that feels like it's gonna work better. I feel like I'm working very hard for this model and I am a little tired of it. So we're gonna start with some back face mask. I'm gonna pull up my references here. We're just gonna do some clay buildup. I want her to be like such a cool girl wizard is the thing, because I feel like being a fire genasi would be so cool. And I'm tired of working so hard on this hair. Okay, so we're gonna do, I feel like I built it up a little bit. We're gonna do a bit of a move topological just to like kind of get it pulled away from her hair a little bit more. And then we're gonna do a little bit of snake hook. To get some like wispies pulled out. I might dynamesh this. We'll see. See, this is the thing about not having a ton of confidence when you start out on a model, is sometimes you start and restart certain elements of it multiple times. I may also be a little too focused on like the directionality of this. I don't know. I feel like I'm kind of second guessing myself here. Okay, I think I am going to go back to this original hair. I need to not lose faith. Trust the process. Anyone watching, I appreciate you sticking with me here. I'm gonna add some little wispies. Alright, I'm just going in and adding some kind of shorter strands to kind of break up the way that the rest of this hair is kind of all looking like one clump. So I think what I'm kind of struggling with right now is how I'm gonna get it to look like more like licks of flame. And I think what I need to do is maybe go in to some of these pieces that are a little closer together. And I'm gonna try hitting them with the pinch brush. And I think what that's gonna do is kind of help them to feel a little bit more directional without feeling chunky. I think with this method, I just need to be careful to not make anything too thin. Because yeah, I think this is feeling a little bit too scattered. There's kind of a difference between wanting it to be like chunky versus like Because I don't want it to feel super samey, which I think sometimes this brush can start to feel that way, but I also want it to feel like it's licks of flames and not just like a bunch of hair strands being all wavy. So yeah, I think this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna kind of bring some of these together. Kind of move these clumps so that they're all still kind of differing lengths, but they're all coming together into one, like, kind of lick of flame. This is really seeming work intensive, but it's also kind of calming. And I kind of feel like maybe even sectioning them off a little bit more. Because right now it's feeling very much like a flowing mane. But I think if I want it to look like fire, I need to differentiate the difference. I need to kind of give it a little bit more of an orderly appearance. So just kind of still trying to move it around so that some of these chunks can kind of come together. If you know me at all, you know that my favorite game is Baldur's Gate 3, and it's not a problem, but it certainly is it takes up a lot of my time and thoughts, and I love it very much. It's my favorite. And I just kind of know a lot about it and will make some kind of niche references to it occasionally. And so there's this one scene in the game where you go find this gnome who escaped a bunch of Dwegar in this ruin, and you can try to convince her to give you the cache of smoke powder that she is holding on to. And when you can get this line to trigger where she says, stop right there or I'll blow us to chunks. And she says it in her like British accent, and the way she says chunks is like kind of funny to me. And then more recently, me and my husband were playing Subnautica, and in that game there's a lot of chunks because it's like a resource gathering survival game, and a lot of the resources early game and also late game, just throughout the game, come in sandstone or limestone chunks. And so a lot of time when we were playing the game, whenever we needed a chunk of something, I would just say that line. But then that also kind of morphed into, there's this episode of Futurama where the professor is on the phone and he's like, you just hear one half of the conversation, but he keeps saying, to shreds, you say. And it's funny because he says it like a few times. And so we would be playing the game, and it all of that just kind of came together in my brain. And so over and over again, I would be like, to chunks, you say. And that was funny to me every time. I don't know why I started talking about this. Oh, because I was putting this hair into chunks of hair. I'm doing great. Sometimes trusting the process can be hard. I'm just gonna separate these a little bit. I think, where do I want to put this? Probably up here. Okay, yeah, I think having these like be a little bit more separate from one another is gonna be good. Yeah, I'm gonna need to Z-remesh this at some point because it's getting a little messy, but okay, actually I'm liking that a lot. Okay, yeah, this is getting silly. I need to remesh it. Hopefully this isn't bad. Oh, Percy, I missed your TikTok things. What did you say? Brother, the amount of work I just put in to get coins on this app. It's windy. Challenge yourself. Thanks, buddy. Don't get blown away. You blow me away every single day. And yes, I am feeling challenged. I don't know if people can tell right now. I'm sure Percy can, but I am feeling like I have set myself a bit of a challenge here. And I think it's gonna turn out all right. I just gotta believe in myself. I really like these glasses though. I feel like maybe it's a little silly, but I really like them. I think that this is starting to look more like flames though. I kind of want to just... Damn, Z-Remesher kind of did me dirty though. 557,000 points, that's too many. I said half. Also, Percy, now that you figured out how to get coins on TikTok, why is this no longer available? Why not? Why not? TikTok? Says I should be live. I've just got it pulled up on my laptop though, and I feel like that is notoriously unreliable. Okay, yeah, we still here. We here. But yeah, Percy, now that you have figured out how to get coins on TikTok, you should tell me what they are and how they work, because I don't actually know. For it. Come on, man. I need a little bit of a break here. Not from streaming, just I need Z-Remesher to do what I want it to. I may take a break from the hair though and come back to it, because it's feeling a little bit challenging. See, because that's a mess. If I just do polish my features, it's not a ton better. Alright, let's work on the rest of the outfit a little bit more. I'm gonna give her... I think I'm actually gonna make a new bag for her. I liked the one that I gave to Edwina, but the topology turned a little bit messy, and I kind of want to... Oh, please don't crash, Zbrush. Okay. Yeah, I kind of want to do something a little bit with it. So, let's start with a cube. I'm gonna make it roughly bag shaped. And then to give it a little better topology. I wish the default cube in Zbrush was a little bit better topology. We're gonna bevel it. I'll make it a little wider. Okay. And then we're gonna extrude a little strap here, I think. Or not strap, pocket. Crease that. Okay, and then one thing that I like to do sometimes is when I have a beveled edge like this, I'll crease all of the edges and then I'll subdivide once so that they're still sharp, and then I'll uncrease them and then subdivide again, and that kind of keeps the beveled look a little bit, but we can still soften it up. Except for I do want to keep this crease. I changed my mind. So I want to bevel the pocket too. Now, we bevel. Oh, I don't know. Now, we can... I feel like I kind of want to give this some cool trim of some sort. Let's go into our trusty ornament brush. Oh, this brush. This is an... I've gotten so much mileage out of these ornament brushes recently, which is great. Okay, we want to look at one that has a little bit of a flame vibe. None of these are gonna exactly be fire, but I feel like we can get pretty... I feel like we can get the vibe here. Ooh, I like this one. Right. Take that. I just want this to be very pretty. I'm thinking kind of like an embossed, excuse me, like an embossed leather kind of. Look. I don't want to do too much because I don't want to overdo it. But let's give it just something here on the front. Do this one. Okay. On the sides, I want to do a little bit of a stitch. And I do have this stitch brush. Let's do a double stitch. And I think what I'll do here, since I've already got subdivision levels and ZBrush won't like that since it's a curve brush, is I will duplicate and then just make the duplicate not have any subdivision levels. And then I can go bloop and have some stitches. I'm gonna make them bigger so that you, well, I don't know. I don't know if this is a detail that will print, but I kind of don't care. I just want it to be pretty. Okay, let's play with these settings a little bit. Hit snap. I think I'm actually gonna do the single stitch. There we go. That looks good. Actually, what I can do here is, oh my gosh, I am getting way too in the weeds on this, but I don't really care. I can crease these edges, and then the stitch brush should just kind of align ever so nicely. Oh, I love it when that works. Do the back. Do the front. Insert a little edge loop here, just to give them something to hang on to, and then crease that. Lovely. Okay, I think that's looking good. So now you can hit auto groups, split down the stitches. And then this is going to be controversial. Not to any human being, but ZBrush is gonna think it's controversial. This has, what, 6 subdivision levels? Do we need that many? Kinda. I think the real question actually is, are these deep enough? I kind of feel like the answer is no. Okay. We're gonna retcon that a little bit and go back in with these designs, and I want them to stand out more. I think if I have them show, if I carve them out with enough Z intensity, they should show up on a print. But they need to be noticeable. I think that's better. And do that with the other ones too. Actually, let's look at where these stitches are first. Once more with feeling. Could this be in the middle? Honestly, yeah. Okay. And then the corners. I feel like they can be thicker too, actually. These ornament alphas are so pretty. Okay, yeah, I think that's better. And then we'll do the ones up on the top corners as well. Oh my gosh. Okay. Oh, that's pretty. I like this. Okay, and then now, do we need 6 subdivision levels? That was the original question. I feel like no. I feel like when you get in close, it's a little grainy, but when you zoom out, it looks fine. So we're gonna do 5. And then we subdivide these bad boys. I know that seems like a lot of polys, but that's because it is. I'm looking great. Hey, Lore. Thanks. I am just working on this bag right now, but in a second I will zoom out and you can see what I'm actually working on. I needed to take a step back from the hair for a minute because I was getting frustrated. So we're taking a little bit of a break from that. And we're working on an accessory. These stitches look really good, but you have to... Oh, that's funny. You have to kind of doctor them up a little bit if you want them to actually stick to your mesh, because they're really thin when they're on their own. And so what I found is that, okay, hopefully this should work. Let me save first. When we're about to do something in Brisky and Zbrush, we gotta save. Alright, merge down. Incredible. Alright. In the auto group. And then the move brush, we're just gonna bring these out so that they are visible. Laura, how you feeling after your big journey? Are you feeling jet lagged? Are you feeling tired? Are you feeling great and reinvigorated? I like the detail. Thank you. I'm trying to make it so that it is visible when it's little. Okay, so I'm gonna put this, make it bag size, and then let's see if this lets me do it with subdivision levels. No, it will not. Okay, then we will just squish it around because I want it to look soft. Will it let me do it if I'm at the lowest subdivision level? No. Is it gonna get mad if I freeze subdivision levels and then do bend arc? It probably will. But we're gonna see. I keep doing saddle stitch for my cosplay. It was kind of fun once I got into it, but I had fur mixed in with it and brushing it out every stitch. So it was tight. Yeah, I bet. Yep, you got mad. Zbrush. Stop. Okay. I'll just do this by hand then. My sleep schedule's all over the place. Yeah, I bet. But now you're back to sleeping in your own bed, and I bet that feels nice. Just gonna... no. Honestly, squishing it around by hand was probably the move anyways, since it's supposed to kind of be not slouchy, but like, you know, have a little bit of softness and organicness to it, so that's honestly good, I think. I don't know about these stitches. They might need to get redone. We'll see. Let's see how it's looking. You know, that's actually not that bad. And it's your birthday month. That's so right. We gotta plan something. Yeah, we gotta plan something. Well, glad to have you back, buddy. We missed ya. Okay. I keep saying okay as though I'm done, and then going back and like futzing with it more. I feel like that's probably kind of Edwina coded of me. And we'll do a little strap. How do I want to go about this? I think I'm gonna try to not do this super messy, but we'll see. Zbrush, I want you to want this for me. So what I'm gonna try here, because what I'm gonna do is use this cylinder as kind of a guide for this curve brush, and I'm gonna have it, so I'm gonna have it snap to the surface of this cylinder so that I can smoothly get it over her shoulder without having to hopefully mess with it too much. Sometimes snaking things around the body can be a hassle. I love curve brushes because they make it easy in some regards to put stuff onto your model, and in other regards they are terrible and make everything harder and are the most finicky, annoying thing in the world. So, but actually I think that this is kind of working. So we just have to get it so that it kind of is on the bag. Okay. Did that actually work perfectly? Oh my god, look at that. There are like a gazillion ways to do what I just did, and I don't think that's the way that almost anyone would do it. But I'm not complaining. That looks great. I'm so happy so many of my friends stopped by to say hi to me on the stream. All of my friends are the best. Okay, cool. Guys, this is such a cool girl. I feel like it's the sunglasses, I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna thicken this up. I'm gonna do that by inflating the front and back of this. Oh, I just remembered that on that warlock model I made yesterday, I said I was gonna go back in and give her some more jewelry and stuff. I probably will still go in and do that because I need to post-process her, and rings are so easy to just throw onto a mesh. Alright, Lore, if you're still around, this is a Fire Genasi Wizard. So I'm kind of trying to make her a little bit of a nerd. But she's kind of turning into just like the coolest girl on the quad at your liberal arts college. Which is a vibe, to be sure. And I don't actually hate it. I have been struggling a little bit. I don't like her hair. I'm trying to decide if I want to keep on with the vision that I had for it originally and just kind of trust the process and keep trying to mess with it how it is currently constructed, or if I want to start over and try a different method. But basically I'm trying to make her hair look like it's on fire. That struggle is kind of real. The topology is getting a little messy, which I'm finding a little bit frustrating. So I'm not quite sure. But that is what I am up to. Now I'm messing with it again, even though I said I was going to move on and work on other things. Someone should yell at me and tell me to stop doing that. I wish I could just smooth it out, but it's really, it's looking, I'm not gonna lie guys, it's looking rough. In fact, it's really quite overworked. I think using the spiral brush on it was, or so early, was kind of a mistake. So I'm looking at more of these references. I think I'm just gonna bring it back to this for now. I'm looking at more of these references, and I think this like kind of blown back look is not it. I think if I do make it a little shorter, and I have let me try one more thing. Because I really want to like this model, but the hair is driving me crazy. Sorry, I'm just going through. I have this library of Grim Reaper Barbie. Yes. I have this library of hair, other hair models that I have made in the past. And I'm kind of, I'm just trying to decide if I want to use one of them, but I've done a just okay job of naming some of these. Okay, so I've got this one, and I think the reason, yes, okay, I like the idea of this one because it is all curly So it already has a lot of that, like, volume that I like. But I'm not certain. Like, I think I could potentially use it and have, but I think it's giving curly more so than, fire. Yeah, I don't think that's it. Let's try. There's that one that I used for Ella. Where is that one, do we think? Let's go find it. I'm just opening up another file that has this hairstyle that I kind of like. This is one that I kind of played around with wanting to try at the beginning, but I was like, no, I want more of like a full on hairstyle so that I can really make it look like flames, but I'm really struggling with that. So let's kind of see if we can try something else. Zbrush might crash. I think I'm probably just gonna go till 3:30 anyways, because I've got a couple more chores I need to get done before I finish up for the evening. Zbrush is really struggling. Okay, well, Zbrush is trying to crash. So I'm gonna actually take another little bio break, see if I can get Zbrush back to doing its job. So I'll be back in like 5 minutes or so, I think. All right. Mic back on. All right, I am back. Zbrush has decided to mind its P's and Q's. I went and grabbed this hair from a different model I made a little while back. This is, when I was first starting this model, I thought about using this hairstyle because I feel like it's kind of cute. I feel like I could potentially I feel like there's already potential for flame here. So we're gonna give this a shot. going to... I love doing undercuts because they're very easy. You just make it flat, excuse me. You just make it flat, and then you just kind of sculpt on a little bit of texture. And the standard brush has or well, all of them, but I like using it on the standard brush. Zbrush has this little alpha that's just like 3 strokes. And I feel like I use this for beards. I use this for short haircuts. And I feel like it just gives it the perfect amount of texture. So let's try it. Let's just try this. I feel like you guys are getting a really good window into when I get super frustrated and stuck. Because the art process isn't always linear, and sometimes you get frustrated as all hell. And that's me today. But in the immortal words of My Chemical Romance, we carry on. Please don't be mad. Just looking back at my references here. Alright, friends. What do we think of that? I kind of like it. Might be a little lazy. But I kind of think that if I just pull some of these up a little bit as opposed to down, we could make them look a little bit more like flames. I think it already looks better than it did. I really like this hairstyle. I absolutely was cooking the day I made it. And for those of you who don't know, I originally made this hairstyle for my probably one of, if not my favorite model I've ever made, Ella the Tiefling Bard. And I just really like this hair. I feel like that's a good sign because this model has been frustrating me all day. Alright, I'm gonna honestly call it. I feel like that looks cool and I like it, and I'm just gonna poly paint it and call it good. Let's do... We're gonna do a little bit more red around the hairline. Alright, now it's time to make her look more magical. We are going to give her a little belt here. She's already got a belt. This is more of a sash though, so we're gonna extrude it. I think I might just make this more of a soft surface. Actually, I might import another asset that I already have. Again, if Zbrush wants to be nice to me. What are you doing? Okay, I'll just be patient. Hello? Alright, well, I'm gonna switch this overlay for a minute. Zbrush is having a little bit of a thing. So we're just gonna sit here for a few minutes. And you guys can look at my face a little bit. And we're just gonna, sometimes Zbrush just needs a little quiet minute. It appears to be just having a bit of a crash. So that's kind of been the vibe of the stream today. Is we're just thinking hard and doing our best. The artistic process is sometimes a little bit messy. Sometimes you have to be patient. Sometimes the vision peeks through for like a minute and then it goes away again, and you just have to be patient and be a little creative and be a little flexible, and eventually you'll get to where you need to go. I don't know if we'll do it today, but this model is gonna happen, and it might not happen on screen today. I might do a little work off stream and then come back to it next week. I'm gonna try to do it. I'm gonna try to finish it on screen. It might, the next time you see it, it might have different hair, because that's really been the thing that has been really causing me pain today. But I am gonna try to finish it on stream. So, Zbrush, are you back yet? It doesn't even want to. It's just completely frozen. So if I click around on it a bunch. Nope. Okay. Well, oh. Sometimes it doesn't even let me exit the program. Okay. If I wait for you to respond, will you be nice? No? Okay, well, I'm just gonna close the program. Yes. Well, yeah. Okay. Zbrush has exited the building. And I think I am gonna call it here today. But yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in. Thanks for sticking around. I really appreciate everyone who was in the chat, and I appreciate everyone who lurked, and I appreciate everyone who just stopped by for a few minutes. It was fun. Had a nice time. Everyone had a lovely day, and yeah, I'll see y'all later.